Sir, if you just sign in.
Already signed in.
State your
Brian
name for the
Susko,
record.
Turnpike Gardens. Based on the discussion previous to this, it changes some of my comments. So, it's really a thank you for listening and kind of hearing kind of what we're saying. So we appreciate that. A clarification, not to have a back and forth now, but a clarification for the Parks and Rec is that ordinance, is that amendment to the ordinance for a replacement facility for the swimming, or is that just for the Parks and Rec in general? And I'll leave that comment for later. But the one thing I just wanted to bring up, probably throwing a wrench into the discussion here, but I just want to make sure that we understand that we still don't actually have to sell the pool this year. So we've discussed this a little bit, but we've got the land appraised for about $956,000. We don't have hurricanes or tornadoes here that destroy land, so to think that the land would diminish to a point where we would worry about it in 6 to 8 months, I think we can feel relatively comfortable with that. And the Turnpike itself is paying for the pool, the pump, the chairs, the picnic tables. So if we lose an umbrella or a picnic table, we're talking about a few $100s. So really, being upfront and honest about the situation is we're not, we don't have to sell it this year. And really, the Turnpike folks, they're not evil swimming pool fairies going around making everyone's pools disappear for fun. They're trying to do a construction project. We can work with them. Mr. Harvey, you've mentioned that you have a great relationship with the Turnpike. Maybe we can use some of the Harvey charm to have conversations with them.
Oh, jeez.
That might not work out.
But just some of the other details. It was stated last week that proposed sale was brought to the public as quickly as possible within 4 months, starting in January this year. But we've actually known about it since April of last year, making the timeline closer to a year before it came to the public. Council's also mentioned that it's a regret that they have and should have brought it to the public attention earlier, which we fully can appreciate. But we can get that time back and do it right this time by actually, considering to take the vote off the table today and allow the sale of the land to be moved to 2020. That would buy us that year back to really finalize the plan. So we have plans in motion. We're moving forward with some of the things we've been talking about. But we're no further than we were when we started the conversation, outside of some discussions with the pools, not to take anything away from what you're doing, but to make that decision tonight is really, it feels like it's still based on limited information that we've had even before we started this back in April. So some of those plans have begun. And one thing I'd like to address is that citizens last night, I made an off-colored comment about the plans having to do with the survey that was sent out. I don't know the full motivation behind those questions. I don't have the right to condemn them. So my comments were uncalled for and productive. So Mr. Poach, directly, I'd like to apologize for those. I was going to send you an email afterwards, but I said it in public. I'd like to own it in public. So anyway, finally, there's many options on the table. So the vote today is decide whether to sell the pool or wait till next year and take the time to do it right, do the right thing for the community, come up with a replacement plan, look into other funding options like we mentioned before with the DCNR, other foundations built for this type of funding. Get a plan together for the pool that starts small and can grow over time. Really bring the council and the community together and making something our own. So we don't have to sell the land, even though that's basically what we've been discussing. But one of the options we do have that's a valid option is to just move it out a year and just redo the appraisal, and to think that it would be so much less that we would worry about it doesn't seem to be really fully an issue in my mind. So we have the opportunity to make kind of lemonade out of the situation we have in front of us. So we've been talking about it for a while. In my mind, I don't think we're any further than we were a few months ago. We don't have enough information, in my opinion, to make this decision tonight. And I feel a vote today would be making a decision before all the facts are really fully understood. A vote tonight can't be taken back. But buying more time, even a few months pushed into 2020 to make an informed decision, would be beneficial to everybody. So just making sure that we do understand that, pushing this sale back is still on the table, and I ask you to just keep that in mind as we go through tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.